it's not something that is completely new or something that I haven't maybe heard before, but it's a little bit different in relationship to using it to my cutter from last year. So the last couple of months when I was using my cutter a little bit more, it actually started to open up more room for my fastball, which generated more swings and misses, which in turn, equaled success on the mound. So, obviously you want to develop talent and strength and ability, but at the end of the day, you're not pitching in games or throwing in games in the major leagues because it's a tryout or a showcase. You're actually out there competing to win ball games.
All right, baseball isn't boring. It's particularly isn't boring. You know how I know it's not boring? When a major league pitcher signs a significant contract while touring castles in Scotland. So that's how I know it's not. And of course, as a member of the Baseball Isn't Boring family, we congratulate you, Rich Hill. Congratulations on the deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Excellent. Well done. And congratulations also on getting through a family vacation in Scotland. So there you go.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was exciting. It was a great trip and, very impromptu. We hadn't taken a vacation in quite a long time. So, it was a lot of fun. It was a very, very interesting trip. And, we get to see the Highlands of Scotland and get to go to Edinburgh.
You're not selling it. You're not selling
Edinburgh.
it.
Yeah. What do you mean? The Highlands? Or
yeah,
it was beautiful. I don't know how to put it. I mean, you can't. It's like right now it's sleeting and snowing out right now, but then picture just like unbelievable mountains behind you, in front of you, around you, and then the loch with it was weird. It was, I don't know. We got there I got to give my brother-in-law a lot of credit because he drove over there, and it's a two-lane highway that's about as wide as a street here in Milton, and people are going 75, 80 miles an hour, and I was just white knuckle in the front seat and the passenger seat, and you're driving on the other side of the road.
Well, you mentioned the loch. Did you see the Loch Ness Monster?
Nessie?
Yes. Did you attempt to see the Loch Ness?
I saw a couple bubbles. We didn't go to Loch Ness, but the one that we were in, I thought I saw a few, little couple, something going on there. I don't know. Maybe it was just too early in the morning. But well, yeah, I'm telling you, you wake up. We got there at night, and then when we woke up in the morning, I was like, wow, holy, fill in the blank. It was really cool. And then one day we woke up and it was like completely covered in snow. The next day it was fluorescent green. It had it was like multiple personalities of the weather.
So you're selling it much more. I'm glad you sold it, because initially it was, we went to the Highlands, and now you have this tapestry of awesomeness, including, by the way, maybe you saw the Loch Ness Monster, maybe you didn't, but you did see bubbles. So there you go.
Yeah, we were able to see the bridge that was used in Harry Potter movies, where the train comes into the station, or whatever. I gotta go back through my notes. It was like 600 years of history, and a grenade went off in my head, and it was awesome.
So I want to know. So this is honestly, you've been great on the podcast all off season, all season, every time you come on. But this one is a unique one, because you can give a perspective that I don't think anybody in the history of Major League Baseball can give, which is going blow by blow about contract negotiations, why standing under the Harry Potter bridge in Scotland, or whatever it is. So what? So take me through how that worked, because you knew that when you left for this vacation with your family to Scotland, that you knew that you were unsigned. That I think you said you had some interest from the Orioles, some other teams, and everything else.
Yeah.
So when you left, did you feel like, hey, you know what, I'm going to keep in touch with my agents, or I'm going to leave it alone, or how did this whole thing play out?
Yeah, there were multiple teams that were interested. There were a few offers that were out there on the table. Obviously, one of them being the Pirates, with a couple other teams. But it was just a matter of kind of getting everything to the culmination point of agreeing to terms and getting the deal done. But was in the airport. We had my father-in-law, mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and her husband, and our son Bryce, and my wife Caitlin. We were sitting down eating, and had a couple phone calls. During basically the entrance to the airport terminal, trying to figure out
Now,
just different kinds of.
is this in Scotland or is it back in Boston?
This is in New York,
New York,
actually.
okay.
So we took off from Boston, understanding that I talked with Sam Levinson with Aces, and talking with Sam and Peter Petalino and Keith Miller and Seth Miller and uh, excuse me, Seth Levinson, on the phone, just kind of basically saying, this is where I'm at personally, what I felt was fair, and what I mean by fair is the terms on the contract, and then taking off, and then understanding that in 2.5 hours there could be a deal done by the time we land in New York to get a connector to Edinburgh, Scotland. So by the time we landed, there were a few conversations, and things got done while we were going from Boston to New York, and then prior to getting on the flight to Scotland. So yeah, it was definitely something that was, I don't know, it probably hasn't been done too many times, but
So by the time you get on the plane to go to Scotland, did you give the go ahead, like let's go with the Pirates?
yeah, absolutely, yeah. And like I said, there were a couple other teams that were out there that had offers on the table. But I mean, the other side of it too, I think the proximity to home, being Massachusetts, Boston, Milton here, was really important to us. So that being Pittsburgh, close to home, within an hour and a half flight, was one of the teams that was closest. So
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you an idea that there were other teams on the West Coast that were interested in, one in particular that was wanted to make something happen. But it just, right now at this point in where our son Bryce is, and with his own schedule, and it's really important to be able to get home at a moment's notice. And that was what was so great about playing in Boston last year, was the ability to be able to catch his games in the morning, or at maybe an off day, and then head to the yard to play a game.
So that must have been a wild ride to Scotland. I mean, was it? Well, not a wild ride, but a weight off the.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you probably there was a chance that you had to go to Scotland on this vacation and deal with this type of stuff that you had to deal with, in Boston and New York at airports, but you had to deal with it, while looking at bubbles and Loch Ness, So, but that must have
Yeah.
been a load off.
Yeah, it was good. No, it was obviously an early present there for the holidays and the new year. So we were excited to get the opportunity to play in Pittsburgh next year, and get back to winning culture. That's one of the biggest things that I look forward to, and obviously see it as a challenge to get everybody bought into committing to 100% effort every single day, and understanding that at the end of the season we're going to be physically exhausted, but not mentally exhausted. We'll be physically exhausted, and that's how it should be. I think that's the teams that I've been on that have been championship teams, and that's what I've seen and witnessed. So through my experience, hopefully that can resonate with some of the guys in the clubhouse, and start doing some really cool things.
Besides the terms of the contract, what was the thing? And besides, like you said, it's like you sort of like maybe, the path that they were going, but what were some of the other things that like you were like, oh, this is cool, like this is good, I can see myself here? And maybe it's you've dealt with Ben Sherrington obviously before, earlier in
Mm-hmm.
your career. I don't know if you had a conversation with him that had an impact, or maybe you had a conversation with people already with the Pirates
Yeah.
or anything like that. Like, so what were some of the
Yeah.
things that sort of stuck with you?
Yeah. So I have a great friend, Jeremy Bleich, who's in the front office with the Pirates, who, really sold me on, where the team was going, where the organization was going, and how, last couple of years have developed guys into this year. Now the focus is turned to winning, and that, is the main goal, is to win the NL Central, and put themselves in a position to be a contender. And it's tough to explain, because I understand what the history has been with the organization the last 5 or so years. I know they had success in 13, 14, and 15, going to the wild card, and putting together some really good, a nice stretch there in those 3 years. But it's been a little bit now, and what his words were just guys that are coming up and have got their feet wet, quote unquote, and are ready to take that next step. So and also, from his side, from Jeremy's side, talking about the pitching, front office that they have, and the analytics that they have, as far as maybe some new things that they can explore, and creativity wise, to be able to add possibly to the arsenal of pitches that I have now.
Is there anything you can, because I always find that fascinating, right? Give me the new
Yeah.
robot that's gonna like show someone how to pitch. But
Well,
was there, I mean, I'm obviously
no,
exaggerating, but what was
no,
the thing that
I
in the
agree with
next
you.
level? Yeah, give me it. But what was
I
the
think
thing that they showed you?
that. Well, so I think one of the things is being able to understand how to, different quadrants of the strike zone with the fastball. So it wasn't really so much to pertain to the breaking ball, but more so with what the data is showing, um, you know, with the characteristics of my fastball, and where to kind of use it a little bit more. It's not like this over, it's not something that um, is completely new, or something that I haven't maybe heard before, but it's a little bit different in relationship to using it to my cutter from last year. So the last couple of months, when I was using my cutter a little bit more, it actually started to open up more room for my fastball, which generated more swings and misses, which in turn, equaled success on the mound. So, that was something that was really interesting to me. I mean, it's so minuscule and so minute with the percentages that we're talking about, but at the end of the day, those are the difference makers. And I definitely agree with what you were saying with the computer, and how is it going to teach guys or tell guys how to pitch. That's one thing. I think the key word is pitching, instead of throwing. We've talked about this before. It makes me want to throw up, just seeing the enamored culture that we've created about velocity and not about pitching. But that's something that, the creativity is up to the individual. It's also up to the teacher, who is going to be allowing the creativity to happen for the player. And that's something that I hope continues to develop. And obviously, you want to develop talent and strength and ability, but at the end of the day, you're not pitching in games or throwing in games in the major leagues because it's a tryout or a showcase. You're actually out there competing to win ball games.
Well, like I said, if you were in high school, you wouldn't be able to crack. You go to one of these showcases. Oh, well, that kid, he's throwing 88. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
We'll see
yeah,
you
I'd be
later.
screwed. I'd
You're
be screwed.
So you went through the process. You've gone through this process before free agency.
Yeah.
I wonder when, in terms of talking to teams, and you mentioned what the Pirates said and how they were sort of selling things. Was it interesting to use some of the things that other teams are saying as well? Because they also have to put their best foot forward, and they have to say, "Hey, look at this is what we're doing." And was that interesting?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another team that you could use in this scenario is the Orioles. With the way that their lineup is coming together from last year and even the year prior to that's another team that is going to be dangerous in the AL East. I think it's going to be a sleeper team that people have talked about and they understand how good that lineup is, but if you look at it as a whole, you have a bunch of guys that are hitting 250, right? So if you look at especially last year, but if you look at a group that's hitting, very consistently the same, they're going to be on base, consistently as well. So that makes it a lot harder for the pitchers to be able to, 100% concentrate their focus all the time on the hitter. But as far as with what the Orioles were saying was somewhat similar to with in regards to the cutter and being able to utilize that more, and some of the other stuff with the drop down breaking ball and the drop down fastball. And again, it's just that when you think of that and you think of it specifically towards left-handed hitters, they were kind of talking about using it more towards right-handed hitters as well. So it's not earth-shattering things for me that I know. It's just being able to implement it at the right time, during a game or during the season. But it's also based off of feel on that day. So it's not always 100% what the game plan says or what the scouting report is going to say. You have to go with what you feel is right in that moment.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And so when you talk about you it seems like I want to get to Scotland in a second. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I want to. We're going to talk about the plague.
By the way, that soundbite will live in infamy right there. We're going to talk about the plague. So the Pirates, they made a hype video for it. You're not a social media guy.
No.
Have you seen the hype video?
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
I'm gonna have to send it to you now. But
right,
you pose for
send it, I'll watch it.
You posed for the hype video because you did the whole thing where you're looking up slowly with the Pirates hat.
Oh yeah. That was yesterday. Amazing.
I know.
Well, imagine that. Imagine how long that would have taken in the early 1900s.
I can't. You would have gotten it after the year on a beta VCR. It's pretty. it is pretty good. Like I'm kind of sad that I didn't send it to you before because it's like everyone deserves a hype video. You deserve a hype video.
I agree. Everybody does. Yeah.
And the Pirates, honestly, they're getting a lot of buzz this offseason. And I'm drawing a blank on who else did they sign this
Carlos
year? Carlos Santana. Yeah. So they did a hype video. Yep. So their social media team is doing an excellent job. I'm bullish. I'm bullish on the Pirates, and I'm bullish on the Pirates social media team because this was of all the Rich Hill hype videos I've seen, this was the best one. So
it encaptured it. It brought
it brought it all. You have these. Yep. Have you striking out guys? Have you screaming into the air? Has you looking up doing that slow thing where you look down at the ground and you slowly look up in your new hat, imposing. I mean, it's the only thing that was missing was someone dripping water, so what would come off the bill of your hat. I mean, that. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
It was good.
To me. I'll have to watch it.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Listen, it's great. All right. Well, so like you said, you went to Scotland to potentially see the Loch Ness Monster, B, do a very deep dive on the plague, and see some castles. So
yeah, there were definitely castles. Saw Winterfell. For those of you who are fans of now I'm drawing a blank on the show. because I'm thinking about the hype video. I'm so locked in on the hype video. Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Winterfell. Yeah. Dune Castle. Dune.
Oh, okay. So,
Yep.
so I'm gonna be honest. Well, I'm gonna take you back in some of our conversations, and you didn't seem super psyched about going to Scotland. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, yeah.
But the great thing, I can say that now because it seemed like you had a great time. So
it was great.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. I definitely recommend either going I mean, look, I didn't know geographically. I knew we were about, somewhere in the same pipeline on the old map there. Okay. But I didn't realize that, it was going to be 40 and raining with the sun. The sun rose at 9:30 in the morning.
It did?
Yeah, it rose at 9:30. And you know what time it went down? 3:30.
Oh,
3:30 in the afternoon. So it was like 6 hours of and when I say the sun rose, I mean it was light out. So it was like it is today, overcast, not snowing, but raining. It was snowing in the Highlands. I will say that on the way. It was beautiful. It was unbelievable.
Before we go into the lack of light, that might have been the best description of longitude and latitude I've ever heard. I don't know if we were on the same pipeline at the.
Yeah. Oh,
but
the
yeah,
accents.
Yeah, you're up there, man. You're that's what happens. I went to Finland, and sure enough, in the summer there's a lot of light. In the winter, not a lot of light. That's what happens.
No, that's what. Yeah. They said sun sets at 10:30 at night during the summer. So, and then it gets the sun rises at I think it was 3 or 3:30 in the morning. So when we plan our golf trip, Ireland and Scotland, we're going to have to do it in the summer so we can just play, barely sleep and just play golf all the time.
So let's power rank the top 3 things in Scotland. You ready?
Okay.
All right. And okay. Ready? Go. We'll go number 3 first.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, unless you want to go number 1. The top. If it's easier to go number 1, we can do that.
No. We'll go 3.
Okay.
Go 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
I got to find out what 2 is. Hold on. I'm just trying to think.
Okay.
You know what they had a ton of there, which was ridiculous, was Italian food.
Well, I was going to ask you, how was the food? Good?
It was Italian. There's so much Italian food, and I was like, I just want, Scottish food.
I feel like
I sound like such an idiot.
I don't even know what Scottish food like. I mean, is it? I feel like it would lean into potatoes, sausage, maybe. I don't know.
Potatoes.
Haggis.
Sure.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is that?
I don't even know what it is. But like just root vegetables and coal.
Delicious.
Yeah.
So, all right, number 3. We'll think of number
3. All right, number 3 is the tours in Edinburgh. 3 is the tours in Edinburgh. Number 2 is the castles, and number 1 is the Highlands.
Okay. So for Bryce, your son, like, was it 11? 11, right?
He's 11. Yeah, still.
Yeah, 11. Yep. I got to be honest with you. For an 11-year-old, Hawaii, Disney World, Scotland probably is a tough sell. But did he come away from like, hey, Dad, that was a good trip, or was he just?
Yeah, I think New Year's saved it with the fireworks show over Edinburgh Castle.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was really cool. It was raining out, but I think they said there were 50,000 people out in the streets. Wow. So it was packed. It's one of the biggest New Year's Eve kind of send-offs in the world, apparently. And one of the the next day, which again, the fireworks are great. New Year's, we go back, go to sleep, wake up the next day. We go to Arthur's Seat. It's called Arthur's Seat, and it's on the other side of the city of Edinburgh. And we're walking up there. I'm in tennis shoes, and I'm thinking, we're gonna walk up to it's high. It's definitely a mountain somewhat. I don't know if it's in between a hill and a mountain. So if we can get some geographical experts on here to
sure.
clarify what that is.
Right in the pipeline of a hill and a mountain. Yeah.
Right in the pipeline. And I'm going up there, and I mean, it's muddy, slippery, wet. And I'm going, what the hell am I doing with these shoes on? I'm going to fall. So I made it the whole way. We all made it up. Nobody fell. I'm coming back down, and I slipped. I slipped right at the very end, went down on my knee, mud. Oh, it was great. But anyway, of course, there was, the kid and his parent coming up the hill, and I dropped a little bit of an expletive, and I'm sorry. I had to apologize. I felt terrible. And the dad was laughing. He said, don't worry about it.
When you did the physical for the Pirates, did you explain what happened to say, hey, you might want to check this out? I slipped climbing this like hill/mountain.
Yeah. Good thing it was my right knee, not my left. Yeah. But it ended up being all right. But the view from up there, Arthur's Seat, I would say that would be number 4 if you when you get there. Go up to Arthur's Seat. It is, I'm telling you, you got to be in some shape to get up there, because it looks, not too daunting, but about halfway up, you're peeling layers off, and you're sweating. So
that's good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Did you volunteer to play for the Scotland WBC team there?
I did. I tried to start it up. They said they have a game called Rounders. I said, wow, sounds familiar.
Is it?
But cricket is
well, you know what they have there. You know what like a big sport is? It's like throwing like telephone poles and rocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Highland Games. The
Highland Games. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. It was you could see me doing that.
I could absolutely see you. You took the words out of my mouth. I could absolutely see you doing that.
Throwing keg toss. Who knows? Oh, you know what else? The Writers Museum was great too. It was really cool. Again, history. Throughout the decades, centuries of writers that have come out of Scotland. So but the tours were great. The performers, the information was really professional, was well done. It was choreographed really well, and really, really enjoyed it.
Well, it sounds like a good time, man. So before I let you go, this is for my own edification, because I'm gonna have to deal with him now. Justin Turner signed with the Red Sox, right? Give me your best. So Justin Turner holds a spot in Baseballs and Boring history. You talk about the Baseballs and Boring Museum. I mean, the video of Justin Turner, he made a hype video of him getting his stuff out of the car in spring training last year.
Oh yes,
wearing a Baseballs and Boring T-shirt. So give me the get everyone on the Justin Turner hype train. What do you think? What do you say?
I mean, incredible sign by Boston, and just I love guys who love to play the game, and he loves to play the game. He posts every single day, comes to the field, and is a winner, and it's something that. You can say that about a lot of guys, but his dedication and his aptitude, his baseball IQ is up there with the best of them. So I think that again, you're bringing a leader into the clubhouse for the Red Sox, and they're definitely lucky to have him.
Well, that is funny, because that sort of morphs into a conversation that we've had a lot about the importance of having leaders in the clubhouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know this, they took out one of the biggest leaders, Xander Bogaerts. So but how can a guy come in who is he's on a 1-year contract with and being the new guy? Can he come in and be like one of the leaders? Is that, or does it take at least a couple months?
No, I think he can come in and be one of the leaders, because he's looked at throughout baseball. If you look at his, the back of his baseball card, he's had tremendous amount of success. So, coming into a locker room with that type of gravity, that kind of, I guess, puts you in that category already. And with Kike being in the clubhouse.
Yeah. So tell me that for you because you were in the clubhouse. Tell me, because I can guess. Tell me the leaders in that
Uh-huh.
clubhouse right now.
Right now you got well, Kike for sure, absolutely. You have in coming out of the with the infield, Raffy.
Yeah.
I look at a guy that obviously hasn't had a ton of time in the big leagues, but will moving forward is Connor Wong.
Mm.
He's a guy that obviously when you talk about catchers and having that kind of ability to understand the pitching staff, but also be in the lineup every single day. Obviously, that's to be determined, but I think
Mm.
he's a guy that will be somebody who is a leader in the clubhouse. And Christian Arroyo. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, with him and Kike and their ability to understand what it is to bring it every day and play at a high level, but also keep it fun at the same time,
Mm.
is extremely important, because it's not, I talk a lot about, okay, your effort and making zero mental mistakes and, having that amount of intensity that you have to go out there and play in between the lines is all well and good and very, very valid of what you need as a major league player and what you need to bring into a clubhouse to win. But at the same time, it's not always like, at an 11 every day and serious all the time. So you
Mm.
want to have, be able to have guys that keep it loose and understand that when it is time to be, on that 11, out of 1 to 10 scale,
Mm.
it's in between the lines. And those are the guys that, again, are going to be able to cultivate that environment in the clubhouse. And now that you're adding Justin in there, it's just another voice with that kind of experience who's bringing a World Series championship into the clubhouse and understands that, hey, I'm just coming from somewhere where that's all we did was go to the postseason every year. And, the goal was to win the World Series. So I think that's something that is going to be extremely valuable going into this season.
Well, don't worry about them. Worry about what's going on in Bradenton. Beautiful Bradenton.
Yes.
Beautiful
Yeah. Yeah.
Bradenton. Beautiful
Yeah.
Bradenton.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it because IMG Academy is there. And Bryce has been talking about IMG Academy, where I don't know. I mean, this must be the social media hype train, where he watched maybe a hype video for
No, everyone
IMG.
knows IMG. You know who the last check, who the baseball coach was at IMG Academy, was a former Red Sox.
Oh, really?
Little before your time. Kason Gabbard.
Oh, okay.
Lefty.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lefty. But Koji's kid went there.
Oh,
Um,
all right.
yeah. So
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think you
he was talking about it and I said, "All right, well, hey, now I don't know. Things happen for a reason. I believe that and go down there and check out IMG."
well, it'll be great. And when we see you, we'll set up we'll make sure that we set up a baseball modified version of the Highland games. I don't know what that will look like. Instead
Yeah,
of
the bat toss,
the
the
bat, you have
bat toss.
the bat toss. You have
What
I
about the
mean,
you could do something like, the ejection.
ooh,
See
ooh, oh,
see how good your ejection ramp can be
oh,
with a base toss. Throwing a Lou Piniella base toss with an ejection ramp.
that's an excellent idea. The base toss, but you have to have the actual reason to toss the base.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, with that clock this year, there might be some base tossing going on. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I can see that you are revitalized. You're re-energized after this trip to Scotland. So you're ready to roll. It's snowing out, but I listen, you know why? Probably because the sun is coming up before 10:30 in the morning. So there you go. So, but hey, Rich, it's good to have you back. I'm glad you're safe. And we, as part of our family, we are proud of you, And also, we look forward to great things. So excellent job.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks, Rob. And I still need to get a T-shirt so I can wear it
You
for
don't
my
have a
hype video
T-shirt?
this spring
Oh my!
training. No, I need
Oh,
to get one.
oh! Will you do that? Will you wear a T-shirt when you get your equipment out of your car?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
throw one on. We got to get hats going.
Oh, I got hoodies.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll wear a hat. I'll wear a baseball isn't boring.
okay. All done. So this is. Go
post
ahead.
game interview hat.
I like to say it's a coincidence that you've landed in another market where we're spreading our wings, but it's not a coincidence. We have planted you there to spread the word. So get ready, Pittsburgh.
Awesome.